Welcome to La Cinémathèque. Today we will talk about the French New Wave. So the French New Wave is certainly one of the most important movements of the 1960s, and it comes right after the Neorealism. So the Neorealism, very important Italian movement at the end of the 40s, with people like Visconti and Rossellini and of course De Sica, up to the early 50s. It's moving along and growing. At the same time, we have in France a group of young writers. So everything started by writing. Les Cahiers du Cinéma was created at the mid-50s. At the same time, the historical background, the historical shape, and the vision of the world change. We have a generation of young people who want things to be done differently, who are criticizing the very well-established cinema. Well, they're going to look at what cinema is as an art form. So we're going to just get away a little bit more than from Hollywood, what they propose to us, to something really more art form. Created a cinema of auteur. Auteur meaning the director will make all the decisions. It's the first time that we see the director who is really going to be in control of all aspects of film. Even if the producer is bringing the money, most of the time the auteur, especially the new French New Wave director, will take all decisions. So, with people like François Truffaut, Jean-Luc Godard, of course Éric Rohmer, they create a cinema that is different, new and full of energy. But why is it important to know the historical background? The historical background is because we have a war going on in the 1950s. In 1953, the Algerian War starts, and the Algerian War was one of those dirty wars where young people used to go to the war and get killed for absolutely nothing. Very similar to the Vietnam idea of Vietnam time. And this created a rebellious idea against the institution, against the army, against the way of looking at all that established things by what it's supposed to be. And they want to make it a little bit different. So we have this group of young filmmakers who are not just young filmmakers. They are political activists, especially Jean-Luc Godard, and they are going to create this way of looking at film as more as a new reality. So let's remember that the French New Wave is called cinéma réalité, the reality cinema or cinema pen, because we want, through the way of making film, not to forget, not to try of thinking of film as an entertainment, but to try to think of film as a reality, as an expression that is going to bring the reality to the eyes of the people who are watching it and really connect with what young people want today. They want something full of passion, full of fashion, full of rebellion, which is a way of living life fully. Instead of being more conservative and more cautious, taking risk on it. So this French New Wave is going to be an example for what young people live in society. And let's not forget that everything that has a vision, what society is coming through the art. The art is really the window of society, and in this case, obviously, the time is a time of change, of rebellion, of trying to do something different to make the world a better place. So by starting out writing, these people are looking at different filmmakers. They are looking at people like Jean Renoir with The Grand Illusion and The Realist. So they consider it great filmmakers. They look at Alfred Hitchcock, who was still working and was working at the time, and François Truffaut would write a lot about him. John Ford, a few other people who are really examples of great filmmakers, but really they did not like not the thing that was going on, and they were really trying something different. Different means a lot of different things. Different means different way of shooting, different way of writing a screenplay, different of who is the main character, different of the messages. So all of these are going to be combined in making films that are very revolutionary. So in 1959, the first really very important film, and everybody considered this as the first French New Wave, 400 Blows by François Truffaut, which is really a film that made a difference, where Truffaut would stay and put the camera and wait and mix a lot of reality, taking shots on the street that were trying to catch what's going on, to be able to go through a window and see what's happening and trying to talk about his life and taking his life as a background to be able to show you that cinema is an expression of reality. And going on to the autobiographical film, he is going to tell you, he is going to make a statement, he is going to be a screen of trying to go against everything established. And with a vision of freedom that will come over the next 10 years, because let's not forget, 1959 to 1970, the French New Wave is going to be very active with a lot of different directors. Basically bringing you to 1968, where there is a very big revolution in Paris, student and working class, for a new world. So everything is like, what can we do to change the world? And what can we do to make the world more free and open? And especially with more possibility for filmmakers to do what they want, and having the idea of money, or the idea of people putting pressure on them. So the idea of being an author, being somebody who can take on all decisions of a film, it's a beginning of what the French New Wave is going to be. So between Truffaut, Godard, Rohmer, and many others, we have all these people who are going to still be the core, and of course Claude Chabrol, Jean-Pierre Melville, Agnès Varda, Jacques Demy, all these people have, in the same way of looking at the world, let's try to do something different. So this is really what the French New Wave is. And of course, you know, that is what we want to just conclude on it. French New Wave is a revolution and will bring all the differences to the new world, and especially to American cinema.